Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Governor Sanwo-Olu commissions ultra-modern trauma facility. Lagos State Public Works and Corporation speaks on progress made on road rehabilitation, and State Ministry of Housing says over 9,000 housing units delivered in the last 6 years. Let's kick off the show from the health sector. This time, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has inaugurated an accident and emergency center in Ekpe. Governor Sanwo-Olu says the facility will cater for issues on emergencies in the outskirts of Lagos metropolis and will be replicated across the state. Please take a look.
A newly constructed custodian accident and emergency center has been delivered by the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in the Ekpe area of Lagos State. The facility provided through a public-private partnership drew high-ranking government officials, traditional leaders, healthcare professionals and corporate executives to the Federal Medical Center, Ekpe, to witness a major boost to healthcare infrastructure in Lagos's rapidly developing Ekpe division.
Regarding this project,
the Group Managing Director of Custodian Investment PLC, Mr. Wole Oshin, highlights the Foundation's vision and motivation behind this impactful health intervention for Lagos State.
The Commissioner for Health in Lagos State is my brother, is my big egbon. He was my senior in school. So I called him up and I said to him, I'd like to see you. He said, come over. I got into his office and I told him what we wanted to do. And he explained to me that it falls bang right in the center of the vision, part of the vision for health in Lagos State, establishing trauma centers and accident and emergency centers across the state. Lagos is way ahead of other states, if I may say, in terms of, because you are dealing with civil servants in Lagos and you think you're in the private sector. So when he threw open his computer, the next thing he went into Google Earth and started combing Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And he said, you see, there's no space here. But there's availability, around the area of Ekpe. And he spotted one or two places and said, maybe we could place it here. He eventually ended up in this location because of the ease of moving trauma patients from here to the hospital. We did the ground breaking, I think, in 2023, and here we are today, with a fully complete building, the details of which, of course, maybe Bumi coming after me will speak to, but I want to specifically just thank all those that have been involved, one way or the other, in this whole project.
Government and its partners share a common vision to save lives and improve critical care delivery for citizens with the provision of this healthcare facility.
This journey began on the 21st of May 2023 when the Lagos State Government, in partnership with Custodian Investment PLC, through its Custodian Social Responsibility Foundation, broke ground for what we now see standing as a state-of-the-art, purpose-built Level 4 trauma center. At the time, the goal was clear: to fill a long-standing gap in trauma and emergency services in this axis of the state. 2 years later, that promise has not only been kept, it has been fulfilled with excellence. The Custodian Accident and Emergency Center is no ordinary facility. It is a symbol of innovation, resilience, and compassion governance.
Custodian Social Responsibility Foundation, the CSR arm of Custodian Investment PLC, supports initiatives in the areas of community development, health, and education. In the past, we worked hand in hand with the Lagos State Government in the education sector by converting the Ilupeju Public Library to an e-library. We also have donated in the past a computer center, even to a public secondary school around our community in Saboyaba. However, this trauma center project, which is in line with our health focal area, is far bigger than what we have ever done, and it's a huge investment on our part. All the funds from this project were internally generated. As a foundation, we are constantly in need of funds to run effectively, and we depend largely on the donations of individuals, corporate institutions, other foundations, and even government to enable us to handle projects such as this one and take on even bigger ones. We are confident, however, that in our time of need, when we come asking, we will not be denied.
The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, emphasizes the life-saving role of trauma centers, pointing out that the new facility aligns with Lagos's emergency management strategy, which will become the state's expanding network of pre-hospital and trauma care units.
We crafted the building to suit the exact flow of what we understand emergency centers to be. Not only that, we incorporated low carbon, low energy components into the design, and what you see today is really a masterpiece of architectural design and thinking that has situated this building right here in Ekpe. We want to thank the donors immensely from the bottom of our heart. An accident and emergency center is no ordinary hospital. It is a place where we bring people back from the clutches of death. There is no time to waste when somebody's been involved in a very traumatic incident like a road traffic accident. It's not the time to start looking around for experts. You must arrive at a place where everything is in place. And our policy of putting a trauma center on all the major axes coming into Lagos, and especially higher level trauma centers in the center of Lagos, is coming to fruition, and this is one more step in that direction. You also know, Mr. Governor, that we've launched the SHIP, the Lagos State Smart Health Information Platform, which is going to give us key data as to where the centers, where the equipment is, so that when we have a trauma case, we can take them directly to where they can get professional help within minutes and certainly less than an hour.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the project's location reflects government's commitment to equitable healthcare distribution that will help stabilize patients during the crucial first 24 to 48 hours after an incident.
For us, is to ensure that every part of our state, every division in our state, we look at it and we're very objective to be able to work with either our partners that are donating or even as the government to say that this investment is best suited for this neighborhood, and that's what we're going to do. So today is the turn of Ekpe division, it's the turn of all of us that are here. So what you owe us is just a debt of gratitude to say that other divisions that probably will have also wanted to benefit from this is here now in Ekpe. And so Kabie says, it is your own. You have seen it. It is your own. It is to be able to keep your people safe. This facility, like they said, is a level 4 tier facility that will triage and stabilize in the event of an accident. It's difficult for us to say that this is when accident is going to happen. We don't know. But a facility, a world-class facility like this, will ensure that when it does happen, you have a place where you can bring them in first to quickly stabilize people. And it's always that first 24 to 48 hours, sometimes that is critical at stabilizing life. And so what it will do is to be able to analyze what needs to be done on a medium to a long-term basis. But at least the first thing is that life has been saved, we've been able to preserve life, and we'll be able to now take it forward to know what additional level of medical facility will be required. We need to ensure that we protect and we preserve it. It is a facility that has been built and has been built well. Let's ensure that we come in here and we utilize it. All of the staff that are going to be working here, all of the support medical first responders that are going to be working here will be well trained, will be well motivated, but to ensure that there is a synergy between the patients and the medical staff. Everybody has a role and a responsibility, that comes along with this.
they will be well, and they will go home, with a better resounding health. Thank you very
The
much.
Custodian Accident and Emergency Center in Ekpe is equipped with state-of-the-art equipment. The architectural design incorporates low-carbon and energy-efficient elements, reflecting Lagos's climate resilient. The state government urges residents to take ownership of the facility for the benefit of all.
From emergency healthcare to road infrastructure, where the Lagos State Public Works and Corporation says 925 roads have been rehabilitated by the agency to ensure free flow of movement on Lagos State roads. Now, the General Manager of the State Public Works and Corporation, Mr. Tokunbo Ajanoku, made this comment during an interview with Channels Television.
The Lagos State Public Works is actively involved in road rehabilitation and maintenance across the 5 divisions of the state, with a focus on both total and sectional repairs. The agency's efforts include tackling critical road sections and those used as alternative routes for smooth vehicular movement. On a daily basis, officials of the State Public Works Corporation are on the road carrying out rehabilitation exercises such as potholes and other major repairs that could cause gridlock. The General Manager of the LSPWC, Mr. Tokunbo Ajanoku, who oversees the activities of Public Works Corporation, says 925 roads have been rehabilitated in the last 1 year, including Oshodi, Eric Moin Surulere, Ogba, and other areas in the state. A task made possible in collaboration with other state agencies.
The Lagos State Public Works Corporation has intervened in about 925 roads in Lagos from March till date, and it is still counting. There's a mantra that we adhere to here. It is, we never stop working. And that tells you that irrespective of the situation, the circumstances, we keep doing the work. And that assumes that we're able to manage all the various indices. You spoke specifically to Oshodi and Surulere, and that is very high density population, which presupposes that the traffic will be very high. And we work in concert with every agency of government, especially those that are scheduled to manage traffic, and even the local governments. So by and large, to a very large extent, we get the job done. For every road, there must be a proper data gathering, wherein we look at all the characteristics of that road and make effort to do the job without inconveniencing the people. So what you do on road A will be different from what you might do on road B if the characteristics surrounding that particular road are different. For some roads, we have to work at night. Some we have to work very early in the morning. Some, the work is such that you work all day long, depending on the scope of the work that needs to be done. So if you say you have not seen us on the roads, it's because we're making sure that we're fixing your potholes without punishing you. The work I do on a particular road is dependent on what my end point is. What do I want to achieve? And I'll tell you this, every agency of government under this administration is working in synergy. Particularly the Lagos State Public Works Corporation is working in synergy with the Office of Infrastructure, with the Office of Drainage Services, with LASTMA, with Ministry of Transportation, with the local governments. Now, peradventure, any of these agencies has a duty on that particular road. I must ensure that what we do is properly sequenced. So instead of me doing a complete rehabilitation, because I know that the contract may have been awarded by, let's say, the Office of Infrastructure, what I do is to ensure that the road is motorable, convenient, and safe. And that will be a temporary solution. Now, if that is not the case, you will notice that the work that we do becomes a lot more extensive and much more sustainable. So it's a case of you understanding what needs to be done for each intervention, and they differ one from the other based on the activities of other agencies. supposing we look at the very popular station on Ogba Road. Ogba Road was left for a while undone because at that point in time, the Office of Drainage Services was constructing a major hydraulic infrastructure in that corridor. And there is no way we can intervene completely and rebuild the whole road until that hydraulic structure is completed. When the Office of Drainage Services completed their own activity, the Ikeja local government, Ojodurada, took over, had to do some drains because that was in the plan. It was until they finished before we went in and constructed the permanent intervention that you see. But before that time, what were we doing? We were just filling the road with boulders, grading, making sure that vehicles and pedestrians could use the road.
He also touched on other areas that require attention, gives reasons for the delay, and also appeals to the people to protect public infrastructure.
Everything that we do here is a process based on pure science. Ogba Ijayi Road is different from Ogunusi because once you come after excellence, it becomes Ogunusi Road. And that means that what we're doing now is that we're taking care of Ogba going towards Penn Cinema. If, just imagine, and I want the whole of Lagos to imagine, that we're working on Ogba Ijayi Road, at the same time we're working on Ogunusi Road. Do you know how many vehicles are on this road end to end on a daily basis? There's something that we call project sequencing, wherein a project is done in a manner that is convenient both for those that are executing and for those that are using. Don't forget that we're working in a completely built-up environment, densely populated. So it behoves us to think for the people in such a way that when we do our work, we don't bring their lives to a standstill. What we're doing today is that we're going to complete the section of Ogba going towards the mobile fuel station at Penn Cinema Junction. When we're done with that, that gives you the opportunity of going through Wemco Road and Acme Road to link up that section and avoid Ogunusi completely. But imagine if we're doing all of it right now, this whole axis of Lagos will be locked down. And that may mean, because of the connectivity of traffic on this road might go all the way to Ikorodu. So we've got to be mindful of the consequences of our action. So there is no delay. We're working. Road construction needs a lot of patience. That's one. Secondly, it needs complete collaboration. There is nothing that we can do on our roads if the people do not collaborate with us. Thirdly, it's critical for us that Lagosians take ownership of the road. The roads belong to the people. And if Lagosians do not take ownership, there is no way they can protect and preserve the roads. Today you go on the road and the drains have become dump sites for waste. People are cutting our roads. People are burning things on the road. They are cooking on our roads. What that does for us is that it shortens the lifespan of these roads, especially this abuse on our drainages. We must not forget that a wise woman long ago said that a road is as good as the drainages. That is a fact. For as long as we keep dumping refuse in our drains, we keep burning refuse on our road, we keep cutting our roads inordinately and not fixing it properly, the lifespan of the roads are shortened. And that means that the roads that we fixed last week that was abused by Lagosians, instead of the government plowing its resources in building new roads, we keep spending so much money in maintaining old ones. So it's a symbiotic thing.
While government takes full responsibility in fixing all bad roads, the Lagos State Public Works Corporation asks residents to avoid any unlawful acts that could shorten the lifespan of the roads.
Lagosians, it is no news that the present administration of Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu delivered projects in different sectors of the economy through the themes agenda. With this success in mind, the second term of the present administration has included social inclusion, gender equality, and the affairs of youths in its agenda. Now we have the Themes Plus agenda. With this, no one is left behind on account of their social status, gender, or age. Lagosians, be prepared for another 4 years of a total revamp in all sectors. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe ni o.
And finally on the program, the Lagos State Ministry of Housing says it has successfully delivered 9,970 housing units across various parts of the state in the past 6 years. The State Commissioner for Housing, Maruf Akinderu-Fatai, made this comment at the 2025 ministerial press briefing held at Alausa, Ikeja.
Closing the housing deficit gap in Lagos is a major challenge for the state governments, owing to the volume of people moving into Lagos on a daily basis. This major challenge has put the authority on its toes, trying to meet up with the accommodation demand by building affordable housing schemes across the 5 divisions of the state for the benefit of Lagos residents. In the last 6 years, over 9,000 housing units have been provided by the government, and 4,052 housing units are currently at various stages of construction. This was announced by the State Commissioner for Housing, Maruf Akinderu-Fatai, at the 2025 ministerial press briefing at Alausa, Ikeja.
The administration in June 2024 delivered and commissioned the Egon Mixed Housing Estate, Cluster 1, comprising of 270 units of 2-bedrooms apartment. This increased the number of the housing estates so far delivered across the 5 administrative divisions of Lagos State by Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu administration to 21 since 2019. The effort of the ministry in providing affordable homes through direct budgetary funding has yielded 3,994 units of 1, 2, 3, and 3 bedrooms, while public-private partnership across the housing sector provided additional 5,976 homes for allottees. Therefore, this administration has increased the housing stock with a total of 9,970 home units in the last 6 years. Currently, the ministry has 5 ongoing housing schemes, which are Igondo Mixed Housing Scheme, Cluster 2 and 3, with a total of 576 units in Igondo Ikotu local government, local development area in Alimosho local government, which is undergoing construction with projection for completion in the first quarter of 2026. The Lagos Home Sogotedo Phase 2, located in Etiosa East LCDA, consists of 528 housing units and is projected to be completed by the 3rd quarter of year 2025. Ekpe Housing Scheme, Itamarun in Ekpe local government, is also projected to produce 112 housing units by the 4th quarter of year 2025. Lagos Homes Ajara in Badagry local government has 420 home units with a projected date of completion 2nd quarter of year 2025. Lastly, Lagos Homes Ibeshe Phase 2 with 192 units in Igbogbo Bayeko LCDA is proposed to be completed by the 3rd quarter of year 2025.
A major success story for the government is the rent-to-own housing schemes, which have supported over 20,000 Lagosians.
The Lagos State Mortgage Board has assisted in creating values and comfort for over 20,000 residents in Lagos State through the implementation of mortgage and rent-to-own policy of the state. The agency has provided access to comfortable and affordable housing units, thereby reducing the housing deficit in the state and in Nigeria as a whole. The first set of allottees to the rent-to-own home ownership policy was successfully exited on the 29th of August 2024, 100 numbers of mortgagors who have completed their expected 10 years mortgage repayment and were officially exited and finally became full allottees of their respective home units. The second edition of the exit ceremony of 1,212 mortgagors was held on the 12th of March 2025. The governor has also approved a new redemption policy to those who have paid for 6 years under the rent-to-own arrangement to take full ownership subject to conditions. The Lagos State Mortgage Board presently has 2,207 pending applications for home unit allocation within various schemes. In a bid to make Lagos State government estate livable and in compliance with the vision of making Lagos a 21st century economy, the Ministry of Housing provided modern infrastructure such as roads, car parks, drains, walkway, retaining walls, fences, sewage treatment plants, water supply treatment, and external electrification at various Lagos State government housing schemes. The ministry in the year 2024 scaled up their facility management strategy to ensure Lagos State-owned estate maintain their aesthetic and economic values all year round.
The Lagos State government frowns at collection of tenancy agreement fees beyond the stipulated 10% and also insists that anyone involved in real estate business must be registered with the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority.
The tenancy laws that we're trying to review, which we did a few weeks ago and is at the State House of Assembly now, which I'm sure that we're partners in progress. And because of the fact that we had a protest about 2 weeks ago about this same regard, agents are not supposed to charge more than 10% in total. They're not supposed to charge more than 10%. The law states 10% specifically, between 0 to 10%. It depends on the amount of the rent. And also there's legal fees as well, too, which should not be more than 10%. So the agents has their duties and the lawyers have their own duties as well, too, which are well spelled out. As lawyers, we know our limitations. And myself and the Honorable Commissioner and the PS, we've had meetings with the NBA, with Redan, with Naives, with Erican, and also with everybody in the build sector that are organizations regulating the authority and also the profession and registering anybody that practices real estate. And we made them, we understood each other that lawyers have a duty and also agents have a duty as well too. The present tenancy laws, I would love to disagree, but it doesn't state specifically how much service charges and the rest of them can be. So it's ambiguous. So people interpret it the way they want to, but it states specifically that the amount an agent can charge is not more than 10%. We have recalcitrant landlords and we also have recalcitrant tenants as well too. And what the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority was created for, part of their mandate was for them to mediate between tenants and landlords. There's tenancy laws of Lagos State 2015 that states explicitly the duties and the responsibilities of the tenants and also the landlords as well too. If we find a landlord that has moved into locking up a property without giving the tenant due notice, because for a year's rent, you're supposed to serve them 6 months for you to notify them, quick notice for them to move out of the house. And if you want to increase the rent as well too, you should inform them 6 months before the old tenancy expires.
The Lagos State government assures residents who have applied for the state housing scheme that more units will be available before the end of the year, and also charge allottees occupying government housing estates to adhere to the ministry's rules and regulation or face the risk of losing their apartments.
And that's the program for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Remember to obey all state laws and please live a healthy life. Bye for now.